Welcome back everyone to this new video. I have brought a new series and this series is especially to help the future interns at Salesforce. I'm pretty sure this will be helpful for other companies, but let's take baby steps. And what I'm going to do is find my fellow interns to share their experiences. How did they apply? What are the key takeaways from their experiences? I hope you like this series. And without wasting time, let's welcome our guest. Hi, Kiran. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Just a quick introduction of Kiran. She is very active on social media. She has a great page about cybersecurity. So she will introduce herself. But if you are into cybersecurity, you definitely have to check out her page. Links are in the description. And let's head back to the video. So, Kiran, can you tell us something about yourself?
Hi, yeah, so I'm a technical program manager intern here at Salesforce for the security integration team, specifically for the cross-organizational security initiatives team, which is a branch of security integration. Aside from the internship, I also am, as Aayush mentioned, pretty active on social media. I have 2 TikTok pages and 2 Instagram pages. One is really focused on cybersecurity and college tips and advice for students. Yeah, that's about it.
That's wonderful. And it's great that you're managing both your social media presence and your college work, plus the internship, right? I'm truly inspired by it, trust me. And I'm pretty sure people who are watching this, they would be inspired and they will bump up you with many questions. So you said you are a technical program manager, right? A TPM.
Yes.
So when did you apply for this role and how did you come to know about this role as such?
I actually was referred to Salesforce by a friend that went to NYU alongside me. We were in a
Oh,
class together, we got to know each other, and she was talking about her internship experiences at both Tesla and Salesforce, and really loved Salesforce as a company, thought it had great work-life balance, which is something that I was really leaning towards for my future role. And I applied sometime in January and had my
okay.
interviews pretty quickly. The interviewing experience was very smooth. Within 2 days of my initial interview, I had a response. And after I actually got my verbal offer the day of my second interview.
That's amazing. I mean, that's very rare, but it is possible because the company is amazing and they value the time of our employees, of the employees, right?
Right.
There's one thing very interesting which you said. You got a referral, right? I get this question quite often. How do you ask for a referral? Do you have any tips or any advices for people around this?
So I honestly have gotten many coworkers and peers just providing me opportunities. But the reason I think that it's so organic for me is because I love connecting with people. And I actually didn't ask for a referral at Salesforce. My friend just thought I'd be a great fit. She was like, hey, like, if you're interested, I can refer you. And I was like, honestly, that sounds great. And I'd love to get to know more about the company. But ironically, this was not my first interview at Salesforce. I actually initially interviewed for a security engineering internship, which
Okay.
I did not proceed with. But once I got the rejection for that, I actually responded to my recruiter and asked if there were any open PM roles because I was interested in PM. I had heard a lot about it on TikTok and various other platforms within my degree program and had heard that it was a perfect balance of tech, but also communication skills, which I think really described me well as a person. So then I
Mm-hmm.
proceeded with the PM interview, and here I am.
Oh, fascinating journey. Something similar happened to me as well, but that is for a separate video. One thing which I really, I take out from what you just said, you network very well, right? And I agree to that because we have been speaking throughout this internship. You know what, guys, if you want to know more about networking or know how Kiran takes towards her networking role, you can DM us. We can make a separate video for that. But I would really want to know more about it. And I think even my audience would be interested. But yeah, moving ahead. Uh, there's an NDA, right? We cannot disclose the questions and salary and whatnot. So
Yes.
keeping that in mind, In a very basic, generic overview, you interviewed with Salesforce twice. Can you tell me what was the process like, and what is the maximum thing that you can share with us? Some anecdote, something.
The process was pretty similar because I had the same recruiter for both roles. It was pretty smooth. I reached out to the recruiter, I applied to the position, signed a couple of forms, and then lo and behold, I had my first interview. Prior to the interview, like your recruiter will definitely set you up with some tips and tricks and some advice, some different resources that you can take a look at to prep, which I think
Mm-hmm.
were really helpful. And especially in
Mm-hmm.
the case of my interviews, I think both of them, I think those um, advice pages and resources were really helpful for my personal experience. But I had my interview, and then I was told that within 2 days I would get a response. If not, I could follow up, which I thought was really nice and a pretty unique experience that I had at Salesforce, because usually I feel like recruiters don't tell you, hey, like you could just hit me up after 2 days. But my recruiter was definitely really chill about that. And he was like, if you don't hear back from me within 2 days, please follow up. And I did. And I actually really enjoyed that. Like, I really thought that was a pretty humane element of the recruiting experience here at Salesforce.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is one of the very rare companies where even I had the same experience. So it is across the board. The recruiters are actual human being and they understand our point of view and they do reply back to our emails. Worst case, they might be late by a day or two, but they do reply back. So, pro tip, cold emailing to Salesforce recruiters do work. Okay, next important question. How did you prepare for the interview? Like, what was the secret hack?
I didn't have a secret hack, especially for the role that I actually ended up getting. I was just myself. A fun fact, I was actually really tired that day. I was like super exhausted. I think I had pulled an all-nighter or something. I had my interview, and then I was like, oh my God, like, am I gonna wreck this because I'm so tired? But no, I actually just decided to be myself. And I was so candid and so honest with my answers, and I honestly was like super ironic that it actually really aligned with what my VP was looking for. And he was my first interview. My team's VP was
The
my
vice
first
president?
interview. Yes.
Okay, okay.
And I was just really honest, candid. Like, I was like, I'm really just the type of person, I really want to make an impact. I really love making an impact in everything that I do. And I feel like that line is something that I've realized has really been a huge part of my internship. Is everyone on my team is really focused on making an impact. And I think that's just a general Salesforce wide theme, that a lot of teams, they just want to make a great impact and make the world a better place, their team a better environment. They're always focused on making the company better. And I just think that that is like the thing that probably hit it home within my interview. But I don't know.
Yes. I mean, she is just being very candid. She did prepare a lot and worked hard throughout her college life. I am pretty sure.
Yeah, that I did.
So, yeah, she is just acting too candid. So, how many rounds did you have? You said one was with vice president directly, VP. So, how
Yeah,
many
he was my
rounds?
first interview. And then I had an interview with my team's director, who's my direct manager. And that was
Okay.
my second round and the final round. For the TPM internships, I don't think there's supposed to be any coding if you do apply for like TPM roles.
Mhm.
Um, I personally believe that PM roles in general are not really supposed to have coding within their general job descriptions or job duties, but I think it could
Mhm.
be helpful to have that background. I do have that background, so I think that could just help you understand things from an engineer's point of view when and if you have to interact with an engineer, if you do wish to partake in a PM role.
Makes sense. So, I mean, I don't know if it is a part of NDA or not, but can you tell what were the rounds like? Was there only a discussion about your life? Was it related to HR questions, behavior round? You said there was no coding round, right? So, but what were the two rounds?
Yeah, I believe in general, like PM roles do not have coding. Engineering roles do have a coding round. I didn't have my coding round for the engineering role that I applied for. I just had the first round, which is still a technical round. I think for a technical program manager, there's obviously going to be a technical component. So without going into any like questions or anything like that to violate the NDA, I'd just say it was pretty like it was just I think it also really just depends on the candidate. Like how much experience do you have? Maybe like a interviewer might want to look at your resume and be like, maybe you don't have as much experience. So how can I, see whether or not this person might be a good fit for the role? They might ask more technical questions. If they think
Makes
you
sense.
have enough experience, maybe that won't be as much of a focus as much as your team fit sort of thing. So I think it really depends on a candidate plus an interviewer themselves and what are they really looking for. It's really hard to say, but I know that for a generic sense that PM roles most likely will not have a coding round and that engineering roles will.
True. Again, word of caution, this is her experience, and if this is most likely it will be true across the board, but if something changes, I would strongly advise reach out to your recruiter once they align your interview. Stalk your interviewees. Check about them on LinkedIn. What are they doing? What is their life like? And reach out to your recruiter to understand, is it a behavior round or a technical round or a mix of both, right?
Yeah, I think asking your recruiter is a great point that you mentioned. Asking your recruiter and just confirming, like, hey, how many rounds do I have to interview for this role, and what do they look like? Is there a coding component, a live coding component? Is there a actual take home test? Like, what do you
Mhm.
have to do in order to get the role? I think the recruiter is the best point of contact for those questions.
And they do reply, so don't worry. Okay, very different question from what we have been discussing. What inspired you to join Salesforce? You said about impact and the work-life balance. I'm pretty sure there might have been a different reasons as well. What were they, if any?
Yeah, I've told everyone this that the reason that I've joined Salesforce is because I really support the company's mission. I love their sustainability initiatives. I love how they treat their customers. There's this concept in Salesforce called the Ohana, and Ohana means family, and I really feel that here. I've never been on a team that I've enjoyed more than I have within this internship. I have three females on my team, including myself, and three males. So that's an amazing, like, from a diversity standpoint, that's absolutely amazing having a half split female male team. So I've really enjoyed it here, making an impact, of course, and just really feeling like I matter. Like, I don't ever feel like I'm just the intern. I'm never going on like coffee runs or anything like that for my team. Like, it's not anything like that. There's no grunt work or anything that I'm doing. I'm doing things that make an actual impact and being involved. And all my team members treat me as a genuine team member, not just an intern.
That's true. And it is not only for her team, even in my team, the case is similar. And in upcoming videos, I'm pretty sure we will get the same experience. So the culture is very deep rooted and very strong. And just not for the namesake, they actually mean it. Yeah. What is the work like and what project are you working on? Is it something same which every other engineer works, or you have a separate project?
I am not working on an engineering project. Some parts of my project are confidential, so I'm not sure how much detail I can go into.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but in terms of like a general perspective, like I focus mostly on role-based access control within Salesforce and the different business units within Salesforce, and just ensuring that the different business units comply with different policies relating to role-based access control and implementing the principle of least privilege so that we can ensure trust for our customers, as that's our number one priority here at
Priority.
Salesforce.
True. Sounds fancy. And it's not just non-technical role. So it's I think a good mix of technical and non-technical work, right? If I'm not
It's
wrong.
it's technical. You have to have a technical understanding of concepts. For my team, since I'm in the security team, I need to have an understanding of security concepts and how would non-compliance affect our org and our team and the business units and customers. I need to have a good understanding of that before I step into this work. So that's where having a good technical background or even an engineering background can help. It's not required at all, but having understanding of the technical concepts is pertinent for our role.
So a person who is not an engineer can also apply for this role. Is it possible?
100%. You just have
Okay.
to have a foundational knowledge of what
Okay.
is required within the job descriptions, what is required for that team, what projects you're going to be working on. If you have a good technical background and foundational knowledge, it doesn't mean that you have to be a perfect coder. Because, again, as I said, I'm not coding within my role, but you have to have that foundational knowledge and the security foundations to apply them and understand what the impact could be.
Amazing. 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 Nice. Okay. Before we move ahead, can people reach out to you on LinkedIn if they have any more questions?
Yeah, you could reach out to me on LinkedIn. You could reach out to me on my socials. Um, as I said, I'm pretty like all about making an impact. I'm currently an adjunct professor, and the reason I chose to do that alongside my role at Salesforce is because I want to help others. I want to help students. That's why I partnered with Niche Social, which is a scholarship application company, and I've been creating college advice videos for them. The reason I do that is because I want to give back. So I'm more than open to DMs.
Amazing. Please don't bombard with stupid questions and respect the time. But also, all the links are in the description. Reach out to her if you have any specific questions regarding that particular profile. Awesome. So, anything that you wish you knew before applying to this company or for this role specifically? Any advice which you would think would help others?
I don't think that there's anything that I wish I knew before applying that would have changed anything for me personally, because I think this was like a perfect fit, ironically, for my background and my skill set. As along with the interview experience, it was just genuinely just like being myself, just being candid about what I do within, within my daily life, with like who I am as a person. But if there's something that I wish I could, go back and change, I'd probably say just being more confident. Speaking up in meetings, like being, I'm already proactive, but just being confident in myself enough to raise my hand when I know that something doesn't sit right and being vocal about it.
I think people learn with that with time, right? So you don't need to be so harsh on yourself. But yeah, that's true. That's a great advice for anyone who's looking up to be a intern, or for that matter, even an employee. Why an intern? Any person who's looking up to work at corporate. Okay, so the last question is not relevant to you, but still, what's your favorite spot or thing about Salesforce? I know you are doing a remote internship, but any favorite memories of last 8 weeks, 9 weeks?
I have so many favorite memories that I can't even count on my hands. I think one of the top ones has to be um, getting reposted to the futureforce socials, winning
I would definitely put a somewhere. I would put that image over here. So somewhere over here, somewhere. Yeah.
um, winning the cookout competition that the remote interns had. I had the best meal picture. It was really aesthetic. I was really
This
proud of
is
it
the
too.
image. This is the image.
And I was also selected to be a panelist for 3 events, the Women in Security, GenForce, and WinForce event. I was also
Okay.
able to write a blog for that, which was really amazing because I love writing. And
Is it publicly available?
I'm not 100% sure about that because it is an inside Salesforce blog, but
Okay. If it
yeah,
is, you will find it in the description, obviously. So
yeah, if it is, then sure.
yeah.
um, and the other events were C-suite speaker series events where I got to speak with the chief engineering officer and the chief equality officer here at Salesforce. And
Wow.
that was absolutely amazing, being able to ask questions that were related to diversity and inclusion, which is something that's very near and dear to my heart.
Crazy. Amazing. Okay. So I mean, you can just see from her voice how passionate she is for the job, right? So definitely, if you even have offer, like if you have multiple offers, do consider taking Salesforce, because this internship is not only about work. You will have multiple activities, multiple learning opportunities, right? um, you can check out our Instagrams, our social handles for more pictures, I guess. Yep. So before we, end this video, how is the remote work like? And is it a different? Because I am in office. By the way, this is no virtual background. This is actual office. This is no virtual background. How difficult or easy it is for a remote intern?
I think if you're introverted and you would prefer like not having as much social engagement, maybe being remote is perfect for you. I've noticed that I've heard a lot from friends that are introverts that they really prefer remote work. I
Okay.
chose to stay remote due to personal like reasons, like family health, like I just thought it was the best for me. But I would say there were some points where I was definitely feeling the FOMO of, oh my God, all the other interns are going into the office and they're doing all these crazy fun things. And I definitely felt like I was missing out a little bit. But I know that as a person, I myself love getting involved. Like, I am the type of person that will create the opportunity for myself. So I've been really proactive with posting on the webcast, posting on my own personal page, getting in touch with practically the entire futureforce team, which has been really interesting. When I realized, I'm like, oh my God, I practically know everyone on this team now, which is really cool. And it's just really nice. Like, it's been difficult. Like, there were points where I just felt a little sad because I definitely wanted to interact more with people, because I think that's just like the slight extrovert in me. But I've been able to do so much even while being remote that it just makes me feel like, okay, if I was in person, like I'd probably just be like limitless. Like there'd just be like an infinite amount of things I could just be doing. So I definitely feel like I've made the most of my experience so far. And I can't believe how quickly it's also passing by. Like, for me, this is week 11 and I have a 16-week internship. So that's insane.
Definitely true. 12 weeks. I mean, we had 12-week internship and 8 weeks already over. It's like I just came tomorrow to SF. What? Why? Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kiran, for taking out time of the busy schedule. Drop in the comments if you need a part two or any specific questions, right? And that's it. I hope you got some kind of a value of this video. And there are many more videos lined up in this series. There's a separate series of life at Salesforce. There's a separate series of how to prepare for internship. There's a separate series of how to ramp up your LinkedIn. Go watch them, apply them. And if you're liking, at least if you're liking the content or the effort that I'm putting, a subscribe or a like would mean a lot to me. Having said that, stay safe and peace out.
Bye.